Okay, let's talk a little bit about feature IDs and getting them. I'm going to actually turn on a couple of things within the Creo model tree. I'm going to turn on feature type and also feature ID. And the reason I want to show you this is a couple of things. Number one, feature ID is kind of can be often misconceived as something specific to like features, like for example, an extrusion or a protrusion or a cut or a round. And they are. However, they are also related to components. So feature ID is also used in assemblies to kind of uniquely identify and establish kind of the relationship in the structure. And if you go down into a particular component, you can see that feature IDs are also within those too. So in reality, the feature ID equates a little bit of a path of how to get to particular items within a structure if you want to use it that way. But in our particular case, we're going to be kind of using this as something to report information about these models. So I'm going to use NitroCell to do a table create, and we'll just call this feat IDs. Whoops. And we'll write this to wow tab. Whoops, if I could spell it correctly. Okay. And then I'm actually going to go query the types of features based on the component ID. So I want to get the types of features by and their IDs to a table. So just initially here, I'm just going to report this as the active model, and we'll just do a star for anything that's there. And we're going to write this out to feature IDs. So if I take a run at this, you'll notice that our tab has written that table of information. As you go down the list here, you can see that it's the same information that's contained in here, which is really great. So it shows us we have components, we have coordinate systems, we have data planes, and also even a cross-section reference there. Now, if we come in and we modify that, let's say, you know something, I really just want anything with coordinate, like C that starts with chord for coordinate system. And let's go do it for any model that's in session and run that. So this is going to write that data out. And we can see that now we have a very nice report of all the coordinate systems that are in there. If we had other features like, for example, star weld star for all the weld features, for the different types of weld types, that would also pick up on that, report that out. Then you're probably asking yourself, okay, this is great, but why do I need this? Well, the beauty about this is that when you have the data written into a table form like this becomes an iterable reference. So every item that's in here can be iterated upon and merged with other data and Power Query and so on and so forth. And the real power of this starts to show up when, let's say, that we want to come in and look for something specific. So if we had, let's say, we're recording a map key and we wanted to include a Control F to that, and we wanted to look for a specific feature ID number, it would actually pop us to that in the structure, and then we could just use that as our selection and continue on our map key to perform some operation based on that particular feature that's selected. So it's a very powerful capability, and we'll actually have another video or two on this that you should be able to check out on as a use case. But it is very powerful functionality, and I think you'll find it pretty useful.